Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kandid Konversations. How are y'all doing today? I am so sorry for the tardiness. We had some technical difficulties going on. So, hi, we're here. Um, I hope everybody had a wonderful day today. I know. As usual, we have our handsome co-host. Aren't y'all so
Ain't
cute?
we?
Jay. Jay.
Yes, I'm here. What's up?
And Derek the Deacon.
What up now?
I'm just going to um, jump right in because that. Hey Tosh, what's good? I'm going to jump right into the topic, which is going to be COVID-19 vaccine in the Black community. Um, we are. Oh, but before I do that, before I forget, because I have a habit of doing that. Um, if you want to join the conversation, the Skype link is pinned to the bottom of the comment section, so you can hit the link, but make sure your mic is muted and let us know that you are joining in on the conversation, that you're calling in. So Derek can let you know when you can join us.
You didn't miss anything, Shaolin.
And
We
we
just
actually,
got started.
we are actually just started, and we had some technical difficulties, so we are just now getting this party started. But
See,
the
when I didn't
topic
start. See,
is
give me a
what you say.
kudos. Give me a kudos.
Let's give Derek a hand clap. He was actually nice. let's pat that man on the back. um so the topic today is the COVID-19 vaccine in the Black community. And basically this is not to defer anybody from taking the vaccine. This is just us having an open conversation of why the Black community um basically doesn't want to take it, because it seems like they are trying to gear us, to the Black community anyway, to take the vaccine, because we are the most reluctant to take the vaccine. So I don't know if it's because of conspiracy theories, things that have happened in our culture in the past to Black people, or people just don't want to take it. I don't everyone has their own different reasons why they don't want to take the vaccine. So that is it. We're just going to talk about it, not to defer anybody from taking it. And I just want if you choose to take it, that's cool. How many of our viewers have actually taken the shot? Um Hey
I
April,
took
hi
I took a bunch
Robert.
of shots Friday. But you're not talking about that kind of shot, right? Like, oh, okay.
No, the vaccine. How many have actually taken the COVID-19 vaccine? That's viewing. And if you did take it, have you had any side or anything like that since you've taken the vaccine? Robert says hi to you, Jay. Shallon is talking to you, Derek.
Yo,
She
what's
wanna know why you
good,
don't want to
Rob?
be nice to her.
Huh?
It was good.
Yes, Tasha, I already know you took it.
Uh,
I know you took it. But as we all know, coronavirus, the pandemic hit, and it killed millions of people. And now they have a vaccine that is it's a two-series vaccine. I believe you have to take it the first, and then the second one you have to take. Tasha, just correct me if I'm wrong. Is 21 days after. Hello, Mr. Tap. It's 21 days after you take the first vaccine, and um, basically, from what I've read and research, is that even though you do take the vaccine, it doesn't stop you from actually catching it. It just makes this, if you do catch it, it's just like the flu. It makes the symptoms less severe.
Are you serious?
Um, yes, there's no guarantee that the vaccine will stop you from catching COVID.
See, that's that nonsense.
And I read this from it's on the CDC. I don't know how many people actually go on the CDC website, but the information is on the CDC website. That it doesn't stop you from catching it. From what they say, it just makes the symptoms less severe. Um, and if you do catch it, and they also were saying that they're trying to see if you do catch coronavirus, if you to pass it to someone else. So, and that still hasn't been proven yet either. So, you basically could take the vaccine and then become asymptomatic because you won't have the symptoms. That's something like the new HIV shot that they have out, where they could take the shot, but they have HIV. But if they do blood work and stuff like that, it won't show up. So, uh, that's basically what that's all about. So yes, it's 21 days after you take the first shot. You have to take the second one.
They said if you can survive these 21 days, we got another shot for you. Let's see how that do you.
And the only symptom that I've seen that they had up that a side effect of the vaccine is a runny nose and a sore arm where they injected it. Um, April says people passing out, developing types of cerebral palsy and death. I was already good, but now I'm really good. Shannon says and there's no guarantee that you won't grow extra arms and legs 20 years from now either. That is true. They're not really saying what the long taking the vaccine are, or if they are any long term side effects to taking the vaccine. But some people are saying that they're taking the vaccine because, and we all know that it's two different pharmaceutical companies that have been approved to do the vaccine. Even though the vaccine is not mandatory right now, I do believe they will make it mandatory once they're able to mass produce it, which will probably be in their phase 3. So
Tasha had. She said she had the runny nose was weird, but it wasn't too bad.
okay.
How is a runny nose weird though? Was your nose running like, but it was dripping out your butt or something?
Maybe
Like,
it's because
how's it weird? I have a problem. This is my biggest problem with the vaccine. Um, my biggest problem with the vaccine is that if anything that they talk about or they say is a there's a problem when the dude supposedly found the cure to cancer, who
yes.
mysteriously just ended up dead. Um, even some of the top notch HIV medicine, are available to the rich and the people who can afford to get their hands on it. But then something like COVID, who has the same can have the same caliber of it's probably a higher caliber of the virus than let's say HIV and the rest of the stuff. Hey, everybody, come get it. We giving it out. We're gonna give it to you for free. You don't need health insurance. Just come on by and pick some up. That what makes it an issue for me because if you could cure cancer and you can cure and have all these things, these different things, medicines for HIV. Like you just said, one thing can just erase HIV from your blood altogether, but it's not something that is readily offered. But then you have something like the COVID vaccine that they saying, if you are poor, we want you to get it first. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm not gonna drink the Kool Aid. I am not gonna drink the Kool Aid. Like, I'm good.
And that's what a lot of people are saying. They're saying that they really don't trust the vaccine because it came so fast.
The
Um,
vaccine came out almost before COVID came out. They was like, we have a COVID vaccine. It was like, COVID vaccine? Oh, yeah, my bad. Never mind. And then 2 months later, you're like,
vaccine is a
COVID's
money
here.
maker. It's so stupid. It's a money maker, and everybody knows that this vaccine is gonna it's a multi-billion-dollar money maker, and the two pharmaceutical companies that have been allowed to produce it, um they gotta make millions off of this vaccine, millions.
But they're making millions
Billion.
So
off of the country's money. They're
No,
not making millions off of people money.
no,
And that's why I'm saying,
no,
no.
yes, it is off of the country's money, but
I,
what I'm saying, they're still gonna be
I
making
just,
millions off of it,
I just gotta say this: they're making billions, and then
billions.
people who invest in them are gonna make millions.
right.
That's all I gotta
But it
say.
is but it's
Yeah,
government
To me, it's
because they
just
got a
some
piece of both of those companies, and yeah, it's
right.
good.
But what I'm
Yeah,
saying is they're making billions of government money, like government funds. So it's a difference.
and they're making us the
yeah,
lab rat.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
You know
saying.
what I'm
That's
saying?
why
Because
you,
they
you just
haven't.
can't
But
trust it.
but but that's the beginning of history. If you do the history, the experiments they did on us, but you know what? My bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I agree with
Nah,
you.
you 100% right. What you was about to say. If you do the history, we've always been the we've always been the lab rats for everything, and this is just another
I
case
know.
of
I just can't say it. You know what I'm saying?
You can
No,
say
no,
whatever
no,
you choose to say.
no, no. But I agree with you, D. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, if you want to elaborate on that, go ahead, because I know you're right and exact. Go ahead.
no. I
For
was
real.
just going. I was just leewaying with you because you was about to drop some science. I'm like, you absolutely right. Like what it was every 100 years, there's some kind of pandemic that hits.
Yep,
Um, and if
yep,
you
yep,
do your history, you know your history. Um, we have always
yep.
the lower class has always been the um, the test
Yeah,
subjects for these killers. Why? Because it's
yep.
their way of weeding out. If I don't have to support lower class if they are dead. So make sure you understand that when you go out and get ready, like it's always survival of the fittest. Only the strong shall survive. So if we weed out the weaklings, if we weed out the poor, and we say, hey, we're gonna give this to you guys, and then
Mm-hmm.
we can see what the side effects
Figure out.
and everything else is going to
Yep,
happen, and what's going to
yep.
and because you don't have proper health insurance, proper health care, you're going to eventually weed out, and then the strong ones, the
Yep.
ones who seem to survive the pandemic after having
What
the
what are the strong ones,
only the
D?
strong
What
ones.
are the strong
Those are the
ones?
ones they're gonna
The
want to test.
ones
They're
with
gonna want your blood
the
types.
money.
They're gonna want to run
The
tests.
one with the
Right.
money. No, those are the strong ones in our day and age. Those are the strong ones, and it probably was back
Mm-hmm.
then. But I'm agreeing with you 100%. But then again, if you look at all the experiments and everything like that, They gave us syphilis, man.
Right.
Like the Tuskegee experiments, they gave us syphilis. And when you look at the 40s and 50s, yeah, they could, but it's like when you look at the history behind all of that, no, I'm not taking your needle, brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I'm being nice by calling you brother, but I ain't taking your needle. like that's it. Like, no, I totally agree with you. You absolutely right and correct. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm good. They can keep that.
For real. You gonna give my ancestors syphilis when they didn't even have sex with nobody that had syphilis. And now I got syphilis because you put that in me just to see how the black man will react to that. Like that's foul.
Shauna
Like
says
that's
that
foul.
Shauna says that history has proven that we cannot trust this or any vaccine that they come up with. And that is true. They have proven to
No.
us, past and present, that anything want to take it is up. Literally, they're basically just like campaigning around African Americans taking this vaccine, which would turn anybody who actually knows their history kind of off from the vaccine, because we're not the only ones dying from COVID. So why is it that we are the ones that y'all are pressuring to take it?
And the thing that's
We
the
are
most
the ones.
no,
Okay,
go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Jay.
D. Go ahead. No, because we are the ones that die from everything according to the statistics.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah,
are one
everything.
that's died from everything, right?
You
But
die from everything.
but God damn, okay, I'm gonna say, look, man, we got melanin. So that means that we are stronger than everybody else on this planet. Period. Our skin tone come from our ancestors and everything like that. We could go out in the sun and not get burnt unless we're out there for 13 to 18
Right.
hours. Then we'll get burnt. But we could go out on a normal day with no sunblock for 2 or 3 hours and we're good. And I don't know where that came from, but and I don't know what that got to do with anything, but that's all I'm saying. So we are a powerful people. That's my point. So
I,
we don't need your injections and stuff like that. And I'm trying not to demonetize your show. That's why I'm trying to be quiet because it's like I understand, but that's all I gotta say. And then I'm not gonna say nothing else after
I understand what you're saying, and but I just think that they're basically trying to say that this vaccine is it's a save all vaccine, and is going to, stop the spread of COVID, which it just may. It just might. I'm not gonna say that it ain't. I'm just sitting back and I'm just
No,
watching, going
they hope
with
that it
everybody.
stops the spread of COVID because
Yeah, they
they're
do.
looking for it to be
But
they're looking for it to be a herd cure, meaning
yeah,
if enough people take the vaccine, that means that enough people will not be affected by uh, the conditions of the virus. So if I have 30 people and all 30 people have COVID, but they're not showing the symptoms of the virus, it's a herded cure. Meaning it's not a true cure, but it's not affecting people. So then you go through the normal cold and stuff like that, which makes us further
yeah,
believe that everything that we deal with, every disease, every unnatural disease that we deal with, is probably government made. Just to be honest, it's a good chance that it's something that was slipped into our communities, into our whatever we eating, whatever we drinking, whatever you're doing, and just to see, okay, what's going to be the outcome. I think the only problem was that COVID, they didn't expect for COVID to do the damage that it did. I think they was like, well, let's see what happens, and they weren't prepared for what it did.
A
Like,
pandemic.
yeah, it was like one of those lab rats going wild. Like that's the whole point. And now is ultimately, how do we make money from this? This is how we make money from it. We produce we produce a cure, a quote unquote cure. We get everybody to take it. Then that way, once we start seeing the side effects over a large group of people, we get to see all the different side effects. Then we can look at those things and say, okay, what can we take away? What can we add to get rid of those side effects? And then you come out with the real cure that's only going to be available to the elite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Derek, I think you just signed. I can't hear you.
Huh?
No, no, no. You ain't hear all of that. Like he's
No,
absolutely right.
he blanked out towards the end. But no,
Oh, okay, okay,
I didn't hear the
okay.
end. But I totally agree with you. You know what I'm saying? I totally agree with you. And what they're putting out in the public eye is what I was saying was that they are trying to basically say, oh, once you take the vaccine, you're immune from it. And now, if you go on to and now that you see that you're really not immune from it, they're saying you can become immune, but you you can still get the symptoms. They just won't be as severe, just like taking the flu. So it's just like they're trying their best to give us a false sense of the truth. So
That's what they've been
we'll
doing.
take.
That's what they've been doing from
And,
day one, though. If you really,
and now it's like a tug of war with black people, though, because you have this one set of people that are, taking the vaccine, and then you have this other set of people that have a totally different opinion of why they won't take the vaccine. And I've seen people on social media and so forth and so on, and they're like going back and forth. You can't really argue with somebody about what they want to do with their body. That's their body. If you want to take the vaccine, take the vaccine. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, then you don't. Me personally, I'm not taking the vaccine. And that's for my own personal reasons. But if my daughter decided to take the vaccine, I'm not going to stop her because that's what she wants to do. You know, I will
Oh
let
no,
her
you
know.
need to smack that off. You need to smack the doc. You need to go ahead and
I
kick
have
that
to
doctor,
respect
man.
the
Like,
opinion of other people.
like for real.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no, no. But I'm saying the only vaccines that we should be taking as a people, and I'm gonna be real, because you're in the healthcare field. I'll take the TB. Okay, I'll take because I need to know if I got it or not, based on the amount of people that I came in contact with. Okay, the TB, and if I get a rusty nail in my foot, then I'm gonna take that. What is
tetanus
that
shot,
called?
tetanus.
A
Yeah,
tetanus shot.
that, that's it. Those are the only shots I'm taking. Like
But
what?
I do
Those are the only shots I'm
Listen, let me
taking.
tell you. I'm gonna
like
be
I said
honest. I'm
earlier,
be
I do believe that they are going to eventually make this mandatory for everybody to
well. They
take.
can't make it mandatory. Number one, because the test levels for the test subjects for the vaccine is hasn't even been tested on school age children.
I know.
So they
That's the last
Mm.
yeah.
phase.
So they don't even know if this is even going to work on children. Number one. Number two, following up with Jay, the only shots I'm taking is coming from Hennessy, Jack Daniels, or I'm just saying those are the only shots you're gonna get me to
No,
take.
but literally, this is basically because we all know as time goes on, they're going to eventually, of course, change the vaccine up. So it is going to be acceptable for these kids to take it. Now, what I
Yeah.
want my children to take it, absolutely not. But as parents, that's your choice on what you want to do if you want to inject your child with that vaccine. I don't. If it's mandatory for them to go to school, then I guess I'm just gonna have to homeschool my children. Um, but for me, working in the healthcare, That's just
I
like the flu
swear to
vaccine. They
God, I
actually,
wish my
the flu
mother thought
vaccine
like
right
you.
now is actually
I
mandatory
swear
for
to
healthcare.
God.
So, um, and I didn't know that until it was, time for us, flu season, flew around, and now all of a sudden this is mandatory flu vaccine that, everybody got to take. And I'm just like, when did the flu vaccine become mandatory? And it became mandatory in January of 2020. That or
Really?
and it
Has it?
only applies, huh?
No, 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 no. I'm like listening to you. Like you ain't telling me. I haven't
It
never. And then
it
I
became
just said that
mandatory.
fucked up. Okay, I'm sorry. I said that messed up. But I've never taken a flu vaccine. Like
I don't take it, and
as
the only way
as
that you're not
as I got old enough where I didn't have to get booster shots and stuff like that. And my mother asked me, and I was like, no, I ain't doing none of that. And I'm in grammar school and high school or whatever. I ain't take no shit. I'm like, these boosters gonna last me. I mean, that was my point.
I mean, I don't take the flu vaccine either, but I'm just saying right now in healthcare, it is mandatory for all healthcare workers to take the flu vaccine. And
Are
that
you
never was before.
serious?
If we
No,
didn't
it
take the flu
wasn't.
vaccine, we just had to wear a mask for flu
Yeah,
season, and that was
yeah,
it. Well, now it's
yeah.
not like that. It's mandatory, and
Oh,
you
are you
can't even get a
serious?
religious, and you cannot get a religious exemption from
No,
taking the
that's
flu.
impossible. This
It can only
America.
be
If I'm
it can
Muslim or Jewish or anything else,
can
and I'm not
only
cutting you
be
off,
a
but
medical exemption.
we have to get a medical exemption.
Well, yes,
That's
that's the
that's
only
not the
thing that
American way. That's not the American way. If I'm Muslim or Jewish or a 5% or I believe in the devil, you gotta get that to me. You gotta
no,
give it
take
to
a
me.
step away.
Jay
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? I'm sorry. My bad. Okay, go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
but
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, there's no longer a religious exemption.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
they try to take it away
That's
from schools too.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Are
it's
you
Yeah,
serious?
they're saying
it's
religious
no longer.
because before the religious exemption was something that could not be uh
Yeah.
you couldn't touch it. You couldn't even
This
question
is
it. If you
America.
questioned it, you got
Like
yourself in
Danny
trouble.
Glover.
Now you have to there are
Donald
certain
Glover. I'm
protocols
sorry.
that you have to go through. Um, there's certain protocols you have to go through to get the exemption,
Wow.
the religious exemption. You can't just write a letter saying I'm religiously exempt from it. You have to put out you have to get from a priest or something like that, stating
Are you
yeah.
serious?
It's crazy.
No, that's totally wrong. Like, let me tell you something. I've been in court mad times because I got pulled over for my car because I had tents, right? And I used to wear kufi in there, and I'm not Muslim. And they be like, yo, take that off. I'm like, nah, dog, I'm Muslim. And the judge and nobody could say nothing about it. It's illegal.
Right.
So now you're telling me
That's no longer illegal
that,
when it comes to the vaccine.
oh,
April, you're saying that
wow.
they said that they will make it mandatory to have in order to fly soon as well. They're gonna make what mandatory? The COVID vaccine or the flu?
I heard it was the COVID. That was the mark of the beast. They was going to give you um, that the COVID vaccine was going to come down to the point where if you did not take it, there was only certain places that you can travel to.
Mm.
Mm,
But I don't
Well,
think the flying thing. I don't see how that's going to
well,
fly.
we'll
I
just
think
well, I guess we'll be just road tripping it.
I think the no because they're saying they're the extremists saying that at some point the COVID vaccine is going to be so mandatory that you're only going to be able to travel. They're going to have places where only you can go. So you can't just say I'm going to see my family in South Carolina because South Carolina could be a state that you have to have your COVID vaccine for. You may only can come to New York and New Jersey. You can't go to Vegas.
Listen, well,
You can't go to Florida. You can't go. You gotta. You only can go to Albuquerque. Like that's what they're saying.
Yeah, because I do know they said they do give you a COVID. What is that? A COVID the card. Um, when
Are
you
you
take the shot, you get
serious?
a
They
card
give you
Yeah.
that?
stating that yeah that
Oh,
you
oh
have
wow.
taken the vaccine or whatever. You do get a card. So
Mm.
Yes. The mark of the beast.
people say they're always trying to take our parental rights and refusing vaccines and shots for our kids. Yes, they are,
It's the mark of the
and I
beast.
think that it's horrible. In order for your kids to attend school, they have to have mandated vaccinations.
You're absolutely right.
Um, which is why now I know a lot of people are starting to look into homeschooling because a lot of people don't believe in vaccinations. It's not just about the COVID vaccination. People in general just don't believe in all of these vaccinations or whatever. And at the end of the day, I feel like you're gonna come in contact with with someone that has something contagious somewhere sometime down the road of your life, whether it be the flu or cold. I don't even do chickenpox even exist
Oh,
anymore. I
syphilis.
haven't heard
No, no,
anybody have chickenpox. Like I
no, the
had
chicken
chickenpox
pox
when I
do
was young,
exist. No,
but
no, no, chicken pox do exist. As our and I don't know what group we're at right now, but our age they call shingles.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
That's
that's
the
what
yeah,
that's
shingles
the
they
at
adult
call
our
version.
age.
shingles.
But
But I'm just
Yeah,
saying to
yeah.
kids, like, do kids even catch chickenpox
no,
anymore?
because they get
You
the
know what I'm
vaccine
saying?
for it.
I had the chicken pox when I was little. I remember it very clearly.
And you
So
need chicken pox. No,
I'm
let me
just
tell you,
saying,
you need to
so
catch chicken pox so that will prepare you for later on in life so you don't get shingles. Now, the people that don't catch chicken pox when they're younger, they
I
catch
know
Right.
shingles. And it's
they catch
crazy. And
And it's
that's
almost to kill you.
3 or 5 times that. Yeah, it's
yes.
worse than chicken pox. Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
shingles will do that to you. But it's just like there are all these different type of things that people can catch. Just like at one time, I think what was it 3 years ago, something like that, where it was a measles breakout. And it
Oh,
was
measles
most
always
of it.
been bad. Yeah.
It was mostly in New York where that breakout, and it was mostly in the Jewish community that it was a bad measles breakout because they don't get
Stop
vaccinated.
being
They all
anti-Semitic,
got
Semitic, or whatever you
so
call it. Stop being
they
that. I love my Jewish brothers. One glove.
but it's like all right, you get sick from it, your body produces the antibodies to it, and you're done.
Yeah,
So
but
I haven't had coronavirus. I haven't caught COVID as of yet, and I've been around it because I work in the hospital. I'm always around sick people, but it has touched my home or whatever. My son had it. Their father had it. Um, my mom had it, and even though they had this, they had the symptoms, and everybody's symptoms were different. My mom had it the worst, but everybody's symptoms were different. Could I guess it goes by, I guess, your age or whatever, whatever. But everybody's symptoms was different. And like my son was asymptomatic. He had it, but he didn't have any symptoms. Their father has a couple of the symptoms, but not all of the symptoms. My mother had every last one of the symptoms that they say you get when you get corona. So, but we fought it with
You
not taking her to the hospital.
you better stop
You know
telling.
what
You
I'm
better
saying?
stop saying that. We gonna have to take this episode off the air. They're going to kidnap you. We never going to see Katiana again, and they're going to be running all kinds of tests because she's just around
Ain't nobody.
everybody she know done got COVID, and she the only one that ain't got it. They going to going to be now. It's going to be the Katiana vaccine. They just going to be.
No, I don't think so. But I just feel like it's just about boosting up your immune system where, you know what I'm saying? I just haven't caught it yet. I'm not saying I'm never going to catch it because I just might. But as of right now, I haven't. And I know it's a lot of people that haven't had the coronavirus yet. You know what I'm saying? Not just me.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people who haven't had it yet. But there's a lot of people that been in ground zero with it ain't have it yet. Like she was like, my mom had it. My kids have it. My kid's father has it. The rabbi at the church has it.
I'm not gonna sit up here and say, but even through all of that, I'm still not gonna get the vaccine because I know that if I did catch it, it may affect me differently. But I just have this thing that if I catch it, I'm gonna treat it like I catch anything else. I'm gonna treat it the way I treat a cold or I treat
out where Katiana live, and we need to poke her with mad needles
Right.
so we can get the antibodies.
Right.
That's what the Deke is saying.
Right.
That's exactly what the Deke is saying.
I'm
Like,
not immune to
we
it.
need to find out where she at, and we just drill her with needles and extract it, and then we all gonna be good.
So we just saying
That's
that
all
you
I'm
heard it here
saying.
first, people. If Candid Conversations is not on next week because we can't find Katiana, the government has stolen her, and we will have a new vaccine out in 3 months.
Well, I definitely ain't about to tell y'all my blood type now. So, April says
AB.
April says she cured hers with natural remedies.
Lord, April done had
Exactly.
April done had it too.
And like I said, my little brother had it, and his wife didn't catch it.
And that's
So
my biggest issue. That's my biggest issue with the whole with this whole COVID thing is that point period. Like, how is it that when COVID first came out, when COVID first hit the streets, they were saying don't go outside because somebody can sneeze down the street and the wind will blow COVID up the street to you and will last 48 hours outside waiting for you to walk outside. So, and you will catch it, but then you have people that's living in the same household, sleeping in the same bed, eating the same food, breathing the same air, and one has COVID and the other one doesn't.
You distance yourself.
Yeah, but during the time when people don't know, like there's an incubation period. So if you have it,
yes, it is. It's 14 days.
What'd you say?
It's a 14 days incubation period.
No, that's
14 days.
Yeah, but they say that you can start once you're exposed to COVID, you have about 24 to 48 hours before you can start you start seeing symptoms.
If you get them.
Right, if you get them. So if Peter has COVID, he went out and he got COVID, right? He went out to the club or something. He went to get chicken from Popeyes. Somebody was in there asymptomatic.
It don't matter. Oh, he went to get a chicken. Okay,
he got chicken.
I know what you're saying.
He went home. Him and his wife ate chicken. They was in the bed. He done gave us some La Bamba. They kissed and everything. And he got COVID, but she doesn't. But they done share air. They done share body fluids, everything. But he the only one that got COVID. Like, it just doesn't add up when you were just saying how highly contagious COVID is.
That's like with AIDS. So back then it was called, and I quote, not my words, okay? I don't subscribe to this, but it was called the gay disease. So what happened was when the so-called gay people were having sex, they called AIDS. They called it a gay disease, but it wasn't. It was a heterosexual disease because you got everybody having sex with everybody. So it didn't matter. So I get what you're saying, D, but that's my point. Like, you can't say, okay, if I go out with this chick and she may not have COVID, but then now I get it, but she don't. Who's to say what?
Well, now that's the norm. Now, like when I go, if I go out to the club or anything, I'm bringing um, I'm bringing COVID swabs with me. So before I even come over and say, "Hey, girl," I'm swabbing your nose. Like, "Hey, girl,
Yo, you putting
how you
that all
doing,
up
girl?
in
Let me
her
get this for
nose?
you real quick."
Yo, get
Let me
something
see.
else to put up in her
Yeah, you
nose,
good, girl?
bro.
How you
Be
doing?
like,
Let me
look,
buy
I'm
you a drink.
fucking wide in that nostril.
You know
I'm
what?
just
I am not messing.
okay. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I honestly
My
no, but
bad. My
seriously, I
bad.
just think
My
it
bad.
all depends on how you just take care of your body. Because like I said, my sister kids didn't catch it. They never they've been tested more than once. So and they haven't and they come back negative every time. How is that possible? I don't know. But hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You can only we only that of the things that they tell us or
Right.
whatever. So I stayed in the house, and like I said, my son didn't have not one symptom the whole time, but yet he was still positive, and now he's negative, but he had not a symptom, and I don't even think that taking like you going into the doctor's office or you going into the hospitals, they just take your temperature. You can take my temperature all day. Does that mean I don't have corona?
It
No,
doesn't
it
mean
just
that.
means I ain't got no
Like,
fever.
yeah, exactly.
That's all that means. I just don't have no fever. And some people they don't show any symptoms. So
Huh.
you can still have it. You can walk into a hospital and infect how many people?
Yep. It's like the comic cold, but times 10. So
Yeah.
what happens is what people don't understand is at one point the comic cold was an epidemic, not a pandemic. It's two different things. So the comic cold was an epidemic, and then the flu was an epidemic, but then the flu became a pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
which means that they didn't understand it. And then when they got under control, so this is, and I hate to agree with the people that you see on TV, but yeah, it is a form of the flu, but 10 times worse than the flu. So, in
It
this
is,
time
and
we're
that's what it
living
is.
in, hold on, in this time we're living in, I'm not taking that away from anything. In this time that we're living in, if you look at the common cold, it was a epidemic, not a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mm,
an epidemic. Okay,
mm.
and then they figured that out. Then we got the flu, another epidemic, not a pandemic. You need
But
to understand the
people have to
difference
realize this. People die from the
between.
flu too.
You need to understand the difference between an epidemic and a pandemic. This is a pandemic because they have no clue what kind of strains is coming off of this. And if you're in the medical field, you already know. Like it's already different kind of strains coming. Like we all got MRSA, but it's different kind of
Yeah.
strains of MRSA and this that, and third. So if you look at that as a person that studied biology and this and that and third, which I don't think a lot of people have, even though we all had it in class, but this is a pandemic, not an epidemic. So they're trying to get it under control. And then, yes, we might be subject to, okay, let's try to black. No, I'm fucking with you. All right, go ahead. That's all I got to say.
April said black people are not taking the period because we don't trust nobody, especially the government. But I only speak for those think who think and feel like me. I mean, I don't really trust any really type of vaccine. It's like experiencing the symptoms of pregnancy, having the flu, and a migraine all in one. I don't like vaccines. Period. I don't take the flu. I don't take, and I'm not taking COVID. Um, because I just don't believe in it. I don't. I just believe that when it's to me every type of sickness has some way to be treated. I don't even like taking medicine, to be honest. Um, but that's just me. I just believe in in herbal remedies and things like that. But that's like I said, that's just me personally. Some people feel as though because their families and things like that were affected by COVID, their families have died from it, and they have seen the severity of what coronavirus can do to someone. They want to, they want to take it. People are tired of wearing a mask. They're tired, they want some type of the norms to come back. They don't want to wear the mask anymore. And I get it. I don't like wearing masks either. I can't breathe. Okay, and it's a pain in the behind when you got to be at work and you got on these masks and stuff like that. So people take it for that reason because they don't want to wear, the mask. Whether you wear the mask, whether you don't wear the mask, does it really matter? You can wear masks all
Yep.
day and still catch coronavirus. So does it really matter? No, you catch it, you treat it, and that's it.
The masks were put into
Some
place
people,
Yo,
just so that
that's what you
to
said.
calm mass hysteria. That's what the masks were put
Like,
in place for. The masks
hold
were put
on,
into
y'all
place.
both really believe that?
What?
No, 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 no. I'm gonna let you continue, Dick, and I am not cutting you
The
off
masks were put in
for
the
anything.
masks were put into
But
place to calm mass hysteria. It was never meant to like people were like, oh, put on your mask. Like if you there was a I want to say 2 months ago, it was a study put out that even exposure to COVID um over a period of time with a mask on, you'll still get the virus. The mask never did anything to keep you from getting the virus. The only thing was when COVID was out there at the beginning of COVID, for them to hush fear, they said put on a mask because if someone think about it, if they didn't tell anybody to put on a mask and somebody sneezed in a store, they would have got their behind kicked. Period. If somebody sneezed online, if somebody just sneezed outside, even if they covered it, people would have been ready to knock people's heads off because they're sneezing.
that's
You see how people do it now. Like even if you were before COVID and you would sit inside, like be someplace, somebody sneeze, they're like that didn't sound covered. People will really get upset because
yeah.
so imagine if with COVID and people sneezing without a mask, like it was never put in place to keep you from getting anything. It was just to calm mass hysteria so that
Yeah.
our lighter skinned brothers and sisters who don't have a problem sneezing out in public
I
won't
people
be
that
getting their
mean.
behinds handed to them in ShotRite and at Acme and at the Piggly Wiggly.
so,
And you're
so,
absolutely
what's your
correct.
references? No, hold on. I'm about to interject in all of this. Like, what's your reference behind that? And
It's on
on
the
the
CD.
same token, why do you agree with that? And then I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. To
It's on
you,
the
Deke, first. Okay. Yeah.
It's on the CDC website. Like they'll tell you that long exposure to COVID to the COVID virus is not inhibited from wearing because of a mask. Why you think they coming out? Why you think everybody started making masks and stuff like that? Like, but the only masks that they were given to the people who were who were going to be directly encountered with them was the ones with the N94 or whatever filter,
95.
N95.
N95 filter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Why is
Yeah.
that? Why are the people who are coming in direct contact? They say we want to give them the N95 filters, but then everybody else, you can make yours out of a bra, or you can make yours out of an old pair of underwear,
Well,
or you
like,
can make yours out of go to the fabric store and pick up as many different fabrics and make
Mhm.
yours and be fashionable as you want because it does nothing to stop the COVID virus. You still get it.
No. No. Okay. All I'm gonna say is this: is that wearing a mask, being from a healthcare field part of the thing. So if I'm taking care of somebody that's mad bloody, if I wear gloves, it's gonna take that much percentage off of me on catching anything this dude got.
Right.
Okay, let me just say that, right? So if I don't wear gloves and I go in and try to help this dude, I might catch everything he got.
Yeah, but
But that's just the prophylactic on helping me not catch him. But when I catch whatever it is he got, which I don't know because I'm not a healthcare professional and I'm not his doctor. But I'm trying to help this dude. So therefore, my main focus is wearing gloves, and that's the natural procedure
right.
of anybody in the healthcare
But
field.
Yeah, it
let
is.
me
So,
interject.
so if you take that to normal life, it's just giving you a chance.
Let me
That's all I'm
interject
saying.
something
I'm
into
not
that.
saying, hold on, I'm not saying if I get gloves and this dude got AIDS, I'm not gonna catch AIDS because I may have a cut on my hand somewhere that I don't know about. It could happen. But with this mask shit, it's the same shit. It's like, okay, wear a
But
mask.
let me interject it.
And
Let me
then
interject something right there.
maybe you will not
Yeah,
catch it.
but no, but let me interject where we are on the same lines, but we're different because you put on the if you when you go into the when you go into the health field, they give you a certain type of glove, right? You cannot go. They do not tell you to go
It's
and
the
get.
same. It's the same glove every civilian could
Yeah, but
get.
it's still a
It's the same
it's still a
glove.
certain type of glove. It's
Same
still
glove.
I can't go in there with an usher's glove on, which made of cotton, and say, "Well, I'm good. I got on
Ah!
gloves." No, those are not the.
Hold on, D. That's not
No,
fair.
I'm just
That's
saying
not
because
fair.
they are different. They
Yo,
are different
that's
types
not
of
fair.
gloves. But I can't put on usher gloves and say, all right, let me go in here and start working. No, they're gonna say those are not the appropriate gloves. They're not gonna protect you from anything. The same way as if you go, you can't. I can't go in there with the big winter gloves on. And like, all right, let's go. They're like, no, those are not the gloves we need you to put on. There's a certain glove that we need you to put that is made of a certain material that's gonna protect you from the things that's going to happen. It's the same thing with the face mask. There's a certain type of face mask that's going to protect you, but they're letting the
Yeah,
world massively make and produce
yeah,
any type of thing. You can go on YouTube. They show you how to make a mask out of
yeah,
a bra.
yeah,
You can make them out of
yeah.
underwear. They're like, are you serious?
And
Like that's
why?
not protecting me if I go and
And, and
grab.
why is that? No, and why is that, D? Because the majority of us can't go out and get them N95 masks because two reasons. Not that we can't afford it, because they're out of stock. So
Because
now they like
they can't afford to mass
this.
produce it.
Okay, that has nothing to do with us or how poor we are, considering we're a poor people. That's what I'm going on.
No, no.
We're a poor people. Okay,
Yeah.
so now they like, okay, you could do this, and then what is that towards? The poor people. Me, myself, and I don't care how people look at me. I got a 3M mask on with the two, like that's what I travel with. And they look at me like, oh, you paying the car? And I'm like, yes, I am. I'm paying y'all niggas out of my life. Like, that's what I go out in. But it's not an expensive thing, but people don't think like, okay, I could buy, I just look stupid. That's that black culture. I look stupid. Like this, then, and third. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
Tori, how
I'm
are
sorry.
you? Hi, my
Yeah.
love. Long
But
time no
I'm like,
see
yo,
you.
this what I go out of. And then this is more than sufficient to block me from all of them germs.
But that's the same thing.
And that's what
That's the
I'm
same thing like
saying.
me saying, all right, Joe, I'm
I
about to go out
just
here.
feel like
I'm about to go to the store real
the
quick.
masks are a
So
sense of
let me.
the mask is a precaution. we all work in, well, I know me and Joe, we work in the health in the health field or whatever. So we know gloves, masks, when someone has something, we put on the PPE gear and we go into the room or whatever. Um it doesn't it's not gonna stop us from catching something. It's just gonna help us have some type of extra protection where we possibly won't catch it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's just like
yeah.
and I
Just,
could just say, and that's
just
for
saying
anything.
everything I
That is for
just said.
anything that is contagious. When I was pregnant and I had to take care of patients or whatever, I wasn't allowed to go into a patient room that had shingles because I was pregnant. Didn't matter if I had
Yeah,
on PPE gear and a mask and
yeah.
gloves. They was like,
All I
no,
gotta
you
say,
can't enter
that was
the
your
facility.
last worry. All I gotta
So
say is that was your last worry because let me tell you something. Don't pills that y'all gotta take. What they call? They call something. Don't pills. Oh man, I smelt them, and I'm like, oh my god, y'all gotta take this when y'all pregnant.
are you
Like,
talking
yo,
about
that defeats the
prenatal
purpose.
vitamins?
Yeah. Oh my god. I was like, oh my god, this is it stink like. But go ahead.
But
Yeah.
that's the only thing. And people are just, but does the mask 100% protect you from catching it? No, it does not. Like
Yeah.
anything else. People act
Yeah.
like a cold don't exist anymore. Like as soon as somebody sneeze or cough or anything, it's like, oh, you
I
got
got
coronavirus,
you.
corona.
I
Like get away,
got
get it.
you. I
Whatever
got you.
happens to have people still there is still the common cold.
Yeah.
Nobody wore masks. Nobody's walking around with masks because of the common cold. People
Yeah.
still, we still can catch the flu, but
Yeah.
nobody was walking around with masks for the flu. So what
So
is the
that's
big
right.
difference? There's not that big of a difference. I mean, I understand coronavirus is
There's
much deadlier.
there's not that
It's
big
a
a
deadly.
difference. But Cat, you gotta understand something. Remember back in the 80s, and you were 80s baby like me. Okay?
I'm a,
So remember back
I'm
in
an
the
'80s
80s
baby.
when
I'm an
when,
'80s
when
baby.
yo 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 when dudes was catching AIDS like crazy, it was like, oh, you can't smash nobody because you're gonna catch AIDS. I
hmm
get what you're saying. No. I'm not taking anything away from that. I get
hmm
what you're saying. But it's the sign of the times. Like Prince said, sign of the times. Like, look, if it's an AIDS era,
Exactly,
you
Avery.
can't smash nobody because you're gonna get AIDS. Now, if it's a flu era, you can't go outside because you're gonna get the flu. Now, if it's a COVID-19 era, you can't go outside
Period.
because you're gonna get COVID-19.
I get
And
you.
that's me agreeing with
They
you
told
though.
us to go in our house and
You know
close
what
our
I'm saying?
windows and don't come out.
Dorian, what you mean? What's my beliefs? Can you have to my belief in what? I'm sorry, I was answering one of the viewers. Um,
Okay.
yeah, Dorian, what do you have to be more? What do you mean? What's your beliefs? My beliefs in what? I'm not understanding. But I just think if to me, if people just educate themselves on what the coronavirus is, what the symptoms are, and how you can treat them yourself at home without going to the hospital, without being put on ventilators. Um, because you will be surprised on how much money since this pandemic started, the amount of money that these hospitals and these doctors have made. And
You
And that's
invest.
why
I'm
I'm
telling you,
and
invest in all
it's
these companies.
millions
You're
and
gonna make
billions
a
of
lot of
dollars.
money.
And then people wonder why my medical
A lot
insurance
of
is now
money.
going up because yeah, your medical insurance is going to continue to go up. As long as all of this is going on, your medical insurance is going to continue to go up.
hmm
And it's a reason to the science. But I can't get into all of that right
And
now
we're about to get
because
that $2,000 soon as body get
episode would never be
inaugurated.
taken.
We about to get 2,000 a month. That's what's up. 2,000 a month. I'm telling you, that's what we get.
So it's just like, to me is more about the money than how people actually than the actual care of the people, and that's
Mhm.
just what it is. The medical profession, period, is just a money making profession. Even when it comes down to the people that are taking care of you, people and some people. I'm not gonna say all because some nurses and doctors they actually love what they do. They care about their patients and things of that nature. But then you just have those that just get into it
That's
because
you.
I can make a lot of
That's
money
you.
doing it.
Right.
You
That's
know,
you.
whatever.
No, 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 real talk. Like I know you are a very caring person, and I even
And
told
they don't
you
give a damn about that.
when
That's
you
why
was
it's so
doing
much
what you
abuse.
was doing. I was like, but these people come over here from other countries and don't care about us. But you was like, no, I care about everybody. Like, and I'm gonna put that out there. I don't care. I'm gonna put that out there. Like, yeah.
All I want to say is that they don't really care about
And
us.
people and that's just what it is. I'm not I got into the medical field because I genuinely do care about people. Okay, and I love geriatric patients. They like the cutest and the funniest people ever. But I do care about them. I didn't get into this profession to for money. I like to take care of people. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. But then I've also seen in the medical profession where you have nurses, aides, doctors who just don't give a damn about their patients. It's just like
Yep.
whatever they,
Exactly.
and that's why so much
Exactly.
abuse and everything like that into this profession
Yep.
because this is not about it's not about the care as people want to
That's
quote unquote say. It is not about
yep.
that anymore. What it is about is the
The money.
money.
Yep.
It's all about money.
Money, money,
Absolutely
money,
right. No,
money.
That's it.
no. You're absolutely right. But listen,
Money.
back when I met you back in '78, I still was
So
like, you crazy. I still was like, you crazy. I was like, what? And you was like, no, I care about these people. And I was like, listen, I moved beyond that. And I ain't gonna lie. I said, that's what I got in it for. But I'm like, yo, look, this a business. We gotta move beyond that.
yeah, it's a
And
business. It's a
yeah,
business.
yeah,
Susie
that's it.
says people need to wear masks and stop thinking this isn't real. Protect your family and friends. People are still dying from this.
Yeah,
Please be safe. Yes, absolutely. People should
yeah. Real
even if you
talk.
get the vaccine, they tell you
Real talk.
to so you still have to wear your mask, you still have to social distance and all this and all of that. Even after you get the vaccine, you still have to do all of this. But I'm not telling anybody, don't wear your mask, don't do this. It's just it's it's
Don't put
it's
that out
it's
there.
just basically we're just basically saying the mask aren't really isn't doesn't give you that much more protection than how anything else was. Does it help? Absolutely. So I mean, I'm not understanding what you're saying. But no, I'm not deferring anybody from putting on a mask. I wear a mask every day. Sometimes I wear a mask around my house.
And that's the one thing you don't. That's
Depends on how I feel.
the one thing. The one thing
Huh?
that's winning is the mask industry because every black person is wearing masks. Every black person is getting a mask, and all the side dudes is loving the mask because
That's fine.
they can be
Another
out in real
precaution.
world, be doing real things with their side chicks that nobody ever gonna know because they got on a fitted hat and they mask. So
But what I'm saying is, it's not just about wearing a mask and staying 6 feet away from somebody. You have to learn to take your own precautions and keep your own self safe. If just because I take the precautions and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do to keep my family safe, that doesn't necessarily mean Derek is doing the same thing I'm doing, or Jay is doing the same thing that I'm doing,
right,
or whoever I come in contact is doing the same
Right.
exact things that I am doing. So you
Right.
have to be very mindful of
Right.
that you're around, people houses that you're going to, parties, events, anything that you're doing. You have to know that they may not be taking those same precautions as you, and there is a possibility by me going to this party or me going over to my friend's house or me going out to a restaurant that I am now giving myself and opening up myself to catch the coronavirus.
hmm
But am I supposed to just? We all can't just stay in the house. We have
Hey
to
yo,
go out in the world.
listen,
We
I
have to
agree with
live.
you.
We have to
If
work
it's a
because according
badass
to the
shit
government,
with a
we're
thick
essential
ass,
workers.
yeah, you feeling me? Oh hell yeah! I'm about to go ahead and tag that and catch that.
You know what
Like
I'm
for
saying? So
real.
it's like a catch 22. You can't you don't nobody gets to win in this because if that's the case, everybody would be staying home and that would be that. We will all just be staying home and collecting checks. But that's not the real world.
Right.
We all have to come into contact with each other at some point.
Especially when that check
And
go down to
once
six
we
hundred
come
dollars.
into contact with each other, we are opening ourselves up to catch something from somebody. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the coronavirus. That's just what it is.
But you don't find it crazy that all this time we've been protecting ourselves? We protect ourselves from trying to catch anything. We don't want to catch syphilis. We don't want to catch gonorrhea. We don't want to catch HIV. We don't want to. We've been doing all this stuff to try to prolong our life and go outside and sneeze and take you straight out. Like
And that takes us out.
that is horrible. It's a horrible thing. I've been protecting my life
That's
all
what's
this
going to
time.
take us out.
And the moment I go outside and somebody sneeze, it takes me clean out. Like all this time, I could have just been out here swinging and dangling. It's a
I mean,
sad day.
but that's just like the real. It's like just being realistic about it. If you don't want to catch something, you you protect
Right.
yourself from it. That's it. It's science. If I don't want to catch an STD, I'm gonna make sure whoever I'm having sex with, they're gonna have to put on the condom. Is that But that's not
Hold up,
the only way.
hold up. You old school. It's called the rubber.
Whatever.
It's a rubber.
Whatever.
That's what we put on
It's all
rubbers.
about protecting yourself and you being wary of who you are around.
Oh,
Dorian,
fucking
Dorian's
with
still
you.
old grown, still grown. What about the community? Like I said, we all have to be mindful of what we do. A lot of people want the norm back, and that is never going to happen. This is the new norm, as they want to call it. But once again, you have to learn just to protect yourself. And it's not rocket science. And people are trying to make it into something so much bigger than what it really is. And that's just what it
But
is.
it's the same.
If you don't want to,
But it's the same thing that can be said that about the healthcare, the whole healthcare community. Period. The same way as big medicine is making millions and billions off of this vaccine. It's the same thing as like the natural medicine. Is doing the same exact thing. Now all of a sudden,
absolutely.
COVID hit the streets, and now all of a sudden, everybody want to be eating sea mosses from below the ground, and they want to they want to be now making
People
elixirs
are
out of their seasoning. Like you, what you need
yeah.
is you need some you want to cure COVID. What you need is to get you some cayenne pepper, some salt, some paprika, and you stew that with a tea bag, and you rub it on the back of your earlobe for 4 days, and it'll protect you from like every.
No, I get what you're saying, but if you honestly kind of do think about it, before medicines and before medications was even invented given to us, you go back into the day, this is how our grandparents were. They did the herbal things and everything came from the ground. They grew everything and that's what they treated whatever they needed to
Right,
treat with.
and they ate
And
it.
if that's how some people
Something
and
wrong? They
if
tell you
that's how
drink some collard
and some
green
people
juice.
actually live their lives that way.
You ain't never seen you never saw Big Mama never told you to go out there.
Exactly. I
Big
remember
Mama
that,
never told
Susan.
you to go outside and go outside to the river bays of Jamaica and bring back some sea moss and put it in your bowl of cereal or soak it in your tea. No, they told you to drink some collard green juice. Or what you need, you got a cold, get you some collard green and some turnip green. Drink the juice straight.
Let's not put you in the sack, in the sock.
Right.
The herbs from the earth always work, brother. God's medicine. Absolutely, it is God's medicine. But but if that's the way some people choose to do things, then hey, so be it. I'm not knocking what nobody do. If you making money off of the sea moss and the elderberries and the
And the
and whatever
paprika,
else that
the paprika soaps,
the ginger roots
walking around smelling
and
like Thanksgiving.
that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I will say is that it does work. To me, it does. To me, it does.
Walking around smelling like Thanksgiving. Like, is somebody got a turkey? Like, no, that's me trying to protect myself from COVID.
I cannot stand
that. I got me crying. Yo.
And as much as I would love to stay on this topic and go back and forth, I think our hour is up. I lost track today. But yeah, I think our hour is up. And I just want to say thank y'all to everybody for joining the conversation. Thank you, Susie.
I love my ginger shots. I love ginger snaps. How about that? Let me get a ginger snap.
So I thank everybody for tuning in. I thank everybody for joining the conversation. I want to say hi. Susie is a newcomer to the show. So hi, Susie. And Dorian has welcomed himself back. I hope we get to see you more often, Dorian. And I just want to say this before we close. The coronavirus is a very serious disease. I'm not by any means knocking it, and I'm never going to defer anybody from taking the vaccine shot. But what I will say is this: is that anytime you put anything, and I don't care I know we're talking about the vaccine shot, but anytime you decide to put anything into your body, whether it be a vaccine, medication, or whatever, just do your research and know what you're taking, know what's going into your body, and don't always just believe the hype. Come up with your own opinions and personal reasons on why you're not taking something. Just don't jump on the bandwagon of what everybody isn't doing. You're the only one that has to live your own life, and you're the only one that can make the choices for yourself, for your children. Just research and know what is actually going on in this world. And that's all I got to say. Jay, Derek, y'all got something to say before we end this show?
I'm going to say, as I'll have, because 2021 is about less talking and more doing. So, available immediately after the show, I will be starting to sell Nature's Cure, collard green and turnip green shots. It will cure. It will cure your COVID. It will cure you from COVID. It will kill you from. If you warm it up with a silver spoon and pour it on your genitals, it will cure you of STDs. If you got gout, you soak your feet in it, and after you finish soaking your feet in it, you drink it, and then your gout will be cleared up in 2 to 4 days. It's come from Earth. It's all natural. You can pick it up today, or you can pick it up next week. Also, I'm selling gizzard necks because I want y'all.
I am not messing with you.
God bless y'all. God bless y'all. I want y'all to be healthy. Next week we will have mac and cheese bites For people who are losing their teeth, we're gonna have mac and cheese bites, and it will help your teeth grow back, no matter how old you are.
Oh, shit. Yo, I'm in tears. Do you see this shit? Like, oh my god, I'm in tears. Oh my god, I'm crying.
They're crying. So,
Oh my god.
it's what 9:45. After the conversation, after say people, I love y'all, but I cannot do after the conversations today. I'm not feeling that great today, so I'm not going to do after the conversations, but I will pick it back up next Tuesday.
Yo, I'll do it. If y'all want to come through, I'll do it. And y'all can kick the shit out of me. Like, for real. Like, I'll do it. Y'all can kick the shit out of me. Like, you ain't shit. This
No, we're not doing all of that, Jay. No, and no. But
just make sure y'all hit me up at collardgreenjuice.com.
Derek.
Oh.
Kat, you don't feel better?
No, I can't help it.
Thank y'all all for tuning in. Y'all continue. Jay, stop laughing so
Kat,
loud.
I'm coming over. I'm coming over. Come downstairs. I'm gonna drop some collard green juice off to you. I'm gonna drop some collard green and turnip green juice off to you.
Oh my god.
Y'all continue to be safe out here. Wear your mask, social distance, protect yourselves. Y'all have a beautiful rest of your night. Peace, love, and blessings.
Collardgreenjuice.com. Look it up today. Kat, I'm on my way to you. I'm gonna drop you off some collard green juice.
Yo, you gotta stop fucking crying.
I'm gonna drop you off some collard green juice, Kat. I'm gonna drop it off. What you need to do is I want you to warm it up. I want you to let it cool. I want you to warm it up and then let it cool down so it gets thick. And then you take the grease off of it and just rub it on your chest. That collard green juice is a sad. Okay, that's what we're gonna do.
Oh my god!
It's all natural, Kat. It's all natural.